Okay, we are live. Trevor, I did the video for us, so it wasn't all soft, but I didn't expand the intro, so it just kicks right in. So I need to fix that. But you know what? It's better than that soft shit from last week.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, dude. I didn't like that shit last week. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Assholes with Opinions. We have special guest Chris Morgan. Chris, how are you doing today?
Doing good, and maybe after this broadcast, it'll have to be the biggest asshole with the biggest opinion, according to the hobby.
Oh man, here we go. This is why. Yeah, that's why I was excited for this one.
Everything's good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited for anyone out there who likes to listen to podcasts, who loves the Halloween franchise, Michael Myers. A lot of people on this channel, that's why they flock to the channel, because that is a big topic of discussion. Chris Morgan hosts a podcast called Halloween Unleashed. Very awesome show. It really gives you a big insight, not only into the films, but the mask hobby, which me and Trevor seem to have a liking to, or we discuss quite frequently, I'd say. But today, I wanted to get to know you a little bit more, Chris, and I wanted the viewers and the listeners to get to know you as well. You've been doing mask making for how long?
I converted first and foremost. I made a couple of fan films. One was in 2008 called Halloween H3O. 2013 I did H35, which was the sequel to that. And I initially had sold my SSN Curse number 10 copy off to fund that film, and I realized I was doing a sequel to Halloween 6, and I was like, well, I want to continue with the H6 mask. At the time, Gary Monger of H3O Productions was about to come out with the Thorned, and they were about $110 a piece, and I was like, well, I'll just buy a couple of those, and I'll have one for a stunt, one for a main camera mask. Long story short is I got the mask in, did a couple camera tests, which, you know, you're a filmmaker, so you get it. Once you gotta get it under the movie lights, it kind of paints a different picture. It's either going to look like it's either going to look good or it's going to look like shit. So what ended up happening is we got it some test shots going, and it was way too white. So I took it and started to weather it the best of my ability. I had never done it before, so I was like, well, I'll come up with something. I ended up getting it right for the shot, realized I liked it, sold that mask on eBay to M. Ryan Bogard, who's, that's how he and I met. And then at that point, I had a Don Post 06 that I decided that I was like, well, let me go ahead and try and throw my name in the ring, so to speak, and started messing with that. And then shortly after that, I was bitten by the bug, and I grabbed the He mold, which was sculpted by Steve Wang. And then shortly, that was in 2009, and then right after that, I had grabbed the Untamed mold from Bill Miller at Night Stalker Productions, which was a H6 mold, believe it or not. So that was really how I got started. So really, my goal was in 2009 was to practice as much as I could, and right around Halloween time, maybe do some seasonal type stuff. And because I was a career counselor at a film college at the time, so working with soon-to-be graduates and breaking into the movie industry. So yeah, that's pretty much how it got started, and then it really just kind of took on a life of its own. I actually started doing it full time in June of 2010. So I've been at it a little while.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the movie thing, because a lot of some people on this channel, they're subscribed because of the little Halloween projects that I've done and everything. So I was going to mention that as well. For anyone who's not seen it now, you do have a lot of views on those videos, which is awesome. I enjoy them. I thought they were fun. I thought it was different. It took a different tail, or it followed the H6 line. So I'm not going to spoil anything, but guys, check it out. It's H3O and then H35. You did 5 years later in 2013, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And so I'm not going to spoil anything if you haven't seen it, but I'm going to tell you what I really enjoyed that film completely. But what I really enjoyed is a certain character of the film and how they're developing the masks themselves.
Yeah, that it's funny. I had wrote a remake Halloween movie that I was hoping to ultimately, when you're younger in film college, obviously you have Spielberg dreams if you want to be a producer or director, and that was definitely me. I'm no different than every other Tom, Dick, and Harry that's ever gone through film school. We all think that we're going to graduate and immediately start going making multi-million-dollar productions. Yeah. I wish 42-year-old me could talk with 20-year-old me and slap some sense into him. But but I wrote a remake script, and I actually had wrote where he goes to the hardware store. We get to see him break in and kill a couple people, like security guards, set off the alarm, all that stuff that we saw in the original Halloween. And he actually takes the Shatner mask, goes back because the cops are looking for him. He enters in through a backyard into a garage off to the back of a Midwestern house, and kills a guy, and then starts to convert his mask. So I realized that I was probably never going to be able to do that scene. And when I decided I was going to do H-35, and I had that beginning sequence written where he escapes into the backyard and attacks the mask maker, I was like, well, this is a perfect intro scene, so I went ahead and took that little snippet from that remake script and threw it in there just for the intro credits.
Gotcha. Okay, that's pretty cool. And I like how the guy who's there, he's wearing the WMP shirt that says, what was it? Quality? Is it quality product from Port of Score?
Yeah, it's quality shaping from Port of Score. Yeah.
That was really cool little Easter egg kind of like thing, and kind of throwing WMP out there. So so guys, check out H30 or H30, H35. Do you say H35?
I say it both ways, okay. So
yeah, very, very good. And you actually had you actually got to put it out in the theater for a night, right? And then have people come in and check it out for its premiere.
Yeah, we it's really funny. It's we were so jazzed up about H-35, and just because we knew that the production quality and the technology had come so far since 2008. In 2008, we shot on mini DV on a 24p DVX 100 Panasonic. Yeah. So I mean, when you look at that, and then you're shooting DSLR in 2013. With fixed lenses and matte boxes, and you're using minimal stuff. Long story short, we were so jazzed about that film that it was hard to go back, and because we had the double feature just like we do on YouTube, and it was really hard to watch H30 because there were so many people that were coming in there were so jazzed up about the film, and they're like almost in a way like, what movie is this? Because it's really, I mean, you guys have seen it. I'm assuming Trevor has seen it too, but for the audience that's listening, I mean, it really is a stark contrast between the two films. I mean, like as far as production quality.
Yes,
it's been a while since I've seen it.
You can definitely see the difference in so they're not different in budget, but just like how far technology had come over the 5 years is what you're saying.
You want to know a funny story is H30 actually costs more and it's worse.
Wow.
and its runtime's less too, right?
What's that?
Its runtime's less as well, right?
Yeah, it was originally it was done for like the 30 years of terror that was going on out in Pasadena that year. They were originally going to do a fan film contest, and that's originally what sparked the H30 idea. So I was like, well, I'm going to enter it into a 30-year anniversary film contest. It's 30-year anniversary. H30 just makes sense, so that's how the title came along. But yeah, we actually got to show them in a couple of different theaters. We showed them at a really nice. Now I'm going to freeze up and not remember the theater and the company, but we ended up after that moving on to the Enzion Theater, which was it's an independent film theater here in Central Florida, and man, people from all over come to just watch films there because it's just, I mean, it's really like an opera house the way it's laid out, and it's really really nice, really high scale, really trendy, very artistic. So it is really one of those things where it's almost like a landmark in Central Florida. So the fact that they invited us to come show it there, and so they had all of their, like, they do a monthly film contest called the Film Slam, and we were invited to split the cost with the Film Slam and show our film right after that. So not only did we get our own audience, we got an audience that was already built in. So I mean, there was standing room only in that, and you hear cheers, you hear jumps, you hear screams, and once you are able to sit in the back of the theater and watch for those moments that you wrote and directed, there's no better feeling in the world to watch a live reaction to something, and they're jumping at the right spots that you want them to, and you're going, okay, maybe we did all right there, you know. So it was really really cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, no, yeah. I actually went to the channel, so it was quite some time ago where I watched the films, but then I also watched like the behind the stuff when you're actually at the theater and you're getting reactions from the people who are in there and kind of explain their experience from it. And it's a really cool thing, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that said, "Oh, it must have been really cool to see your work up on the big screen." I said, "Well, if I was actually watching the screen, I was watching people more than I was watching the movies, because I mean, you produce your own films. By the time it gets released, you've probably watched it 100 times. So I mean, you're not really seeing anything new, you know. Plus, we got a chance to do like a screening of it privately to make sure it played correctly, the sound was good, and that the picture was good. So I got to sit in a private, dark theater by myself with a couple of other members of my team, just to sit there and watch it on the big screen by ourselves. And then the event happened, and then that was me people watching, which was, like I said, was a lot of fun.
That's like a dream, man, for a filmmaker to be able to see their vision, their film up on a big screen. It's that's awesome, dude. Like that's definitely my goal with the upcoming film that me and my team are doing. So it must have been a good feeling, man. So did you ever consider going back, considering the way that the film ended? Did you ever thought about going back and doing a follow up to it, or did you think that maybe you're just good where it's at?
It's funny, and I'm glad you asked that. We felt good at the end of that one, just to kind of call it quits there with that series. I guess you could call it that series.
Yeah.
But I thought that unless I went back in and got my film career started again and made a few lucky breaks along the way, I thought, anything involving Halloween was pretty much done, at that point in 2013. And I'm like, age 35 was a good way for me to end. But, you make connections, you network along the way. And last year on the Halloween Unleashed podcast, not only did I get to interview my friend Dan Ferens, which we had been trying to do for 3 to 4 years. We've been friends almost 10 years at this point. And I was feeling pretty good about myself that, hey, we just had this nice 5-part series. I'm going to reach out to Marianne Hagen and see what she's up to, because we talked a lot about her on that. And so I wanted to see what she was up to. I just reached out like on a whim, didn't even expect anything. I think I even messaged Brandon Zachman and Dylan Cloud privately and said, hey, because they were part of the host team at the time. I said, hey, check this out. I just sent this to Marianne Hagen. Apparently she went and she vetted me. I mean, she told this story on the podcast, but she vetted me through Dan. Dan threw a bunch of really good words in for me. And she was all down to do it. And then we chatted, we had planned it all out. And then she got sick with COVID, and we had to postpone it. So, so it's just really good that we had 5 episodes of Dan Ferens, because I'm like, man, we're starting to scrunch on time. So I really got to become really, really good friends with her through that period. So looking at it from that standpoint, it was actually a blessing to that she got COVID, because it gave us a chance to really dial in our friendship. And I have to say, a year later, I mean, it's a year to the day that we're doing this interview right now, that we recorded her interview. Yeah, on the 24th of last year.
That's cool.
And so, pretty much I just, sat and chatted with her that night for, gosh, it was 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We realized what time it was, but we really developed a friendship from that point forward. And we announced on Halloween Unleashed last year, like, if COVID hadn't happened, I wrote a 110-page direct sequel that ties H2O Resurrection together with H6. And this would technically be Halloween 9, but we're going to eventually find a way to raise money and do the Curse of Halloween, where her character comes back. And Danny's grown up, and she's a grandma now, and they get to battle Michael Myers one last time.
Now that's pretty cool. So you would take the ending of what happens at the end of 6. Would you include Tommy Doyle?
Yeah, he's written into the story. She said, "Do you want me to put a call into Paul?" I said, "Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen." But
that'd be amazing, man.
It would, but yeah, no, but she and I have joked about it. I mean, they still keep in touch every now and then. They're still friends, but I honestly don't think he would do it, with the schedule he has. But she's all for it, and as soon as we're able to get that off the ground, that's still in the pipeline.
That's awesome, man.
Hell
so
yeah, man.
Without diving into spoilers, because now you piqued my interest. Like, I knew the project, but now that you're explaining it this way, so you're gonna try to tie in Resurrection or H2N Resurrection. So do you plan on bringing back the character of John?
Yes. That's all I can say.
Cool. I love it. No, that's cool.
Awesome.
Cool. I don't want to ask too many questions because I don't want you to give away anything. But that sounds awesome, and I'm excited to see that. It would be cool if you reached out to A. Michael Lerner as well to play Michael Myers. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I have talked with him. I haven't talked to him about this, but I talked to him about coming on Unleashed, and he's for it. And I'm trying to get Kathleen Kenmont right now, and we're trying to line that up. So yeah, I mean, things are going well. It may not happen in season 3 coming up, but I got plenty of material to cover when it comes to Halloween Kills coming up later this year. So I'm not too worried about it.
Nice. And for anyone who's watched or who has not watched his H3O and H35, he actually, I don't remember which one it was, but you had Dick Warlock do the narration, didn't you?
I sure did. That was actually, I got to go back into my MySpace days.
MySpace.
I miss MySpace. Right. Yeah. Actually, Lance Warlock, who played Boombox Boy in Halloween 2.
Yeah.
He had started at that time, he and his last name's Bradford. It was Leon, Lance and Leon. Warlock and Bradford was their thing. But I got this message, and he said, "Yeah, we would like to score the film." And I said, "Well, I'd be interested in hearing your stuff." I said, because at this time I didn't know who I was talking to, and I was like, "I'd be interested in hearing your stuff, but keep in mind, this is a fan film. Right. This is not anything official. We don't have the budget to pay a lot of money, but I'd be interested in hearing your fee." And then he came back with, "Well, this is Dick Warlock's son, Lance. I would just like to see some of the film, and I would be interested in scoring it for free." And wow. I said, "Shit, okay, yeah." this is kind of, and I sent him a rough cut after that. Said he really liked it. He sat down to score it with Leon, and he just happened to be hanging out with his dad, and they called me on the phone. And Lance said, "Hey, I got somebody here that wants to talk to you." And he handed the phone over to his dad, and Dick got on the phone, and we sat there, and he was very, very, he was a sweet guy, just very nice, kind words about the film. Said he really enjoyed it. He said, would you have any part for me? And just jokingly, I just said, yeah, I need a narrator. And he goes, you got it. Send me the script.
Really?
And so I shot the script over to Lance, and I said, can you get this? He goes, I'll get it and I'll send it back to you. And that's how it happened.
That's sick.
Wow.
Dude. That's super
amazing.
Cool. Yeah. So he must have saw something that he really, truly enjoyed, and then just kind of moved from there. Yeah.
He, his exact words to me goes, in his gravelly voice, he said, it takes balls to do a sequel to that sequel. He goes, I admire that. So, about a year after the film came out, he was actually at the convention here in Central Florida, and he and I were messaging at the time. And I said, when you get down here, I would like to meet you and bring you a copy of the film. And he said, sure. So I brought my copy of the film and asked him to autograph it. And he said, I would be happy to autograph it. He said, but I want you to autograph my copy first. And it was weird that Dick Warlock was asking me to autograph a fan film that I made for him. It was really odd, but it was not odd in a bad way. Just,
it's surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, here I am, grateful. You did this out of the kindness of your heart. And didn't ask for a dime, and all I'm asking for is a autograph in your line, and I'm willing to pay your fee, and here you are asking me for my autograph. It was really neat,
That is cool. Damn,
wow.
It's like one of those moments that kind of like the moment must have like been just like it didn't sink in. I imagine like what, like, huh? Okay, like you want my autograph? All right, dope.
Yeah, no problem there, man.
Yeah, Dick Warlock comes off as a really genuine dude. I met him at Halloween 40 back in 2018. You can tell he loves the fan base, and he really enjoys the love that we give him as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I still keep in contact with Lance here and there. I mean, they've gone on to make some really, really killer stuff. And I don't think he's with Leon Bradford anymore. I think he's with somebody else now. But you can find him on Facebook if you search for Lance Warlock, and his company will pop up.
Nice. So I feel like I keep asking questions. I think this happened last time, Trevor. So you want to chime in? Have any questions, brother?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was trying to think of some stuff. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
You're coming out with some new stuff this year, though, right? With we're getting back onto mass now. You were mentioning we did a Zoom meeting. I think it was like a couple months ago now, or I think probably like last month or something like that. You were talking about doing the Don Post thing, right? The Shatner.
Yeah, the 98.99. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's going to happen at some point. I sort of said this in our private Zoom call, but I'll just say it here. This is not really a secret. For the most part, with what we're going through with the pandemic and people losing their jobs and everything, there's, my marketing business took a major shit last year, and that's my first love. I want to get back to it. But 75% of our business was restaurants. So you take 75% of your overall base, and you lose 80% of that, because when you're hurting for money as a business, the first thing to go is marketing, believe it or not. I was out the door, and I had to find a way to kind of kick, scratch, and claw to make ends meet. And then at the same time, same thing happened to my wife, with her job. So I started picking up more work. So it's just like, put it this way, I don't want to say, yeah, I'm officially back, but because I don't foresee this being a long-term thing. It is a
Right.
means to an end. I still like doing things when I want to do them and not have the pressure on me. And that's the most rewarding thing, because you really get to dial in and spend even more time on things than you normally would. Not that anything that comes out of my shop is bad. Like if I start on anything and I don't like it, I will toss it in the trash and I will start over. That's how I am. I'm really OCD like that. But um, yeah, for the most part, I'm back. So I do have some projects that I want to get to. The 98.99 being one of them. I initially said I'm hoping by June or July, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I don't want to put any timetables on that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what's the story with that? Because there's others floating online, say eBay, other copies. Would you be cool to share that, or is that something that goes a little too off the wall?
No.
Okay.
Back in 2012, for those that don't know, for those that do, they're going to say, "Oh, I've heard this." Back in 2012, Don Post went out of business, and they PMG went belly up as well. PMG bought pretty much most of Don Post and to keep them afloat, and that's when everything started going over to China and being produced over there. And so eventually, Don Post went belly up, and PMG was getting out of the Halloween mask business, and they had all the molds, they had all the properties. It's like when WWE bought WCW, they had all the rings and they had the ropes and all this other stuff and a bunch of
Library and everything.
yeah. It's like, so let's keep the library and get rid of everything else. It's kind of what happened, and that's how TNA got their first ring. But bottom line is all the molds were being sold off and put up. So anybody in the Myers realm was watching a few masks. They were looking for the 75 Kirk. They were looking for obviously the H3 trio. They were looking for the 84, 85 Don Post the mask, and several others. And in 98, there was a few 98 Shatners that were scheduled to come out. You have the 98 Proto that Don Post got from directly recasting a 75 Kirk, and it was even extra small. He was taking that around to conventions, trying to kind of gauge the waters to see what the interest would be. So he was going to look at either laser scanning it or enlarging it to make a new production. So when he got the feedback that he did, he's like, well, let's move forward. Then he decided that when they enlarged it, they didn't like the look, so they brought Darren Perks in to resculpt it and fix it. So when he resculpted it, fixed it, they put that out, and I was a manager for a Party City at the time. So I was on the receiving line from when those truckloads of those masks came in. I had my name on the list to go ahead and grab one. I think I was going to grab it for like $14 and some change, with the employee discount. So we're putting everything out on the shelves that year in 98. And corporate calls us and says, yeah, all those Shatners, you got to put them back in the box and send them back to the studio. Didn't know why at the time. And apparently Shatner's people didn't like it. And they said, you cannot use that issue because of that old lawsuit that happened. And he was still being anal about it. So they still had the license for Captain Kirk, but they couldn't have any resemblance to the 75 at all. So they hired. So, okay, we've just covered those two 98s. That 98 that I just talked about, that eventually became the 99. That's why I call it the 98.99. That's why the 98 stamp is on the back. But right after that, they rushed hired another sculptor to sculpt a quote Shatner, and they sculpted that alien looking thing that eventually got released in October of '98. It was a late release, and it didn't sell well because it didn't look anything like the character. I mean, he looked like he looked like he got stung by a hive of bees, and he had to take a giant shit, and that's the way it looked. And
Awful.
but eventually, I guess they got the whole settlement worked out, and what was supposed to be the '98 that originally came out was released in '99. But those were the China versions, and they looked nothing like the Don Post pulls that came out of that studio. So anyway, I knew what I was looking for, and there was that alien looking thing. You had a couple production molds. You had the 2-piece mold. I knew exactly what I was looking for, and I went in with a couple of other guys, and just in case I was wrong, that alien looking thing was the one I wanted, and then the one I was bidding on privately was the one I actually ended up with, which was the '98-'99, and I paid an astronomical fee for it, but I knew what I was getting. And once the alien one came in, I scheduled a return, and it went back on the market. Now I don't know who bought it, but yeah, I ended up with the '98-'99, and I've always wanted to do something with it. I've done a couple things here and there with it, but I'm seeing a bunch of. I got to be careful how I say this because people are only going to hear what they want to hear and not hear what the intent was behind it. So,
sure.
It's all right.
But there's a lot of, I'm not going to say that they're recasts. I'm just not. It could be production molds because there was quite a few. Once I got the original 2-piece, I didn't look into anything else. So for me to sit here and say, well, all of those are recast, that's not very nice of me to say, and because I don't have proof of that. But I can tell you that the '98-'99 is a 24-inch mask. That is a general release, so that most adult men or women can wear it, and that's what they look for. And the most of the '98-'99 Shatners that are out there are coming in at 22 inches. That tells me, if you look at latex shrinkage, that could be a copy, or it's either that or they got a barrel of latex that's been sitting around a couple years and it's shrinking a lot more. So I don't know, but I can just tell you that I have the original 2-piece that I'm like, well, I've seen enough washed out copies of them out there. I've seen enough squirrel sized masks of them out there. How would collectors like to have the original?
So you've had this mold for how long?
Since early 2013.
Okay.
So like January 2013.
Damn.
Wow.
I'm excited for that, man.
Yeah, me too.
I really am.
I also scored the SSN H2O and V2 and the Durand as well.
Mm.
Hmm.
That's gonna be sick, man.
Yeah, dude. For everyone who's listening and watching, Chris Morgan has quite the lineup. He has the GPW, right? You have the Curse. You have the list just goes up. You have, so now you don't call it the motherfucker anymore, right? You call it.
Yeah. I just, because I have the GPW 6, I have the 6, then you have the 7. I'm like, well, why not just call it the 8? And my 8 is actually casted off of one of the 15 used in the film from Resurrection. Which one of those 15 I couldn't tell you. I can only speculate. The guy that I got the mask from worked at Full Sail with me, and he was one of the higher ends working on Resurrection up in Canada at the time. And he got to keep one of the masks, and he goes, "Yeah, this is the one that this is that Jason mask from the one that Busta Rhymes was in. I'm like, oh, you mean Michael Myers, Resurrection? Got it. And he goes, yeah, that's right, Michael Myers. He goes, they both have white masks. It's the same thing. And I'm like, no, not really, but okay. One's a Shatner, one's a hockey mask, but
Yeah.
I get it. It was just a job for you. But initially, he just asked me to rehair it because all the hair had pretty much fallen out by that point. And so I rehaired it for him. And I said during the process of rehairing it, can I take a casting of the mask, because I'll probably never have an opportunity like this ever again. And he said, I'll let you do the face, neck, and ears. But I don't want anything else done. And I'm like, that's fine. Yeah, no problem. So I actually used alginate to do it so that, I could make sure that it was really well cared for. Cause you definitely don't want to ruin that. So,
No.
then a few years later, he contacted me. I had come out with a different version of it, early on, and back in 2013, it was not good. The alginate didn't take as well as I thought. I had to do some cleanup, and it just didn't look the same. And then he actually reached out to me in late 2014 and said, how would you like to buy this from me? I'm looking to sell it. I don't need it anymore. So I said, sure, I'll buy it. How much you want for it? And hit me with a price tag, which was $2,500. I bought it from him, and then I turned right around. I made my silicone mold and did it properly. Did the entire head, face, neck, ears, top, bottom, neck, everything. And then once I got that done, I put the hair back on it, and then I put it up for sale and sold it to a private collector, and made even more off of it. So,
fuck yeah. That's not fucking bad at all, man. Hell yeah.
That's capitalism.
That's that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's what America is, man.
But yeah, Chris has so many. He has the GKY, the SS78. Actually, you can see the SS78 mold right there. That is kind of a hybrid Tramer kind of thing that I kind of fucked with ultimately. Yeah, Chris has a ton of them. Go to his Facebook, check it out. Go to his Instagram. Instagram is Hollywood Showstopper, I believe. So you're obviously like us, love Halloween, the franchise, the character of Michael Myers, the different masks. So what was your introduction to the franchise? Because not everyone's the same. For me, it's Halloween 4. I think with Trevor, you said Halloween 4 as well, right? Or did you say something else?
For like our favorite one?
No, our introduction, like our first one we actually watched in its entirety.
No, I would have to say the H2 was my first one.
Okay. What's yours, Chris?
My introduction was the original, and I'll tell a story I've never told before. So,
awesome. Ooh, nice. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I was raised by my grandparents, and they were my mom and dad. I just lost my dad here recently, so yeah. But my uncle he's only 7 years older than me, so he's like an older brother, having him in the house. I was 7, he was 14. He was supposed to be watching me, and he invited a bunch of his friends over. They were going to watch Halloween, and we're watching it. I'm scared out of my wits. And then they decided that they were going to have a little fun with me because they saw I was scared. And so one of the guys snuck out to where the power box was and flipped the power off. And then they staged this whole thing where my uncle had red corn syrup all over his shirt, and they were acting like that he just got killed. And there's this stuff all over the floor. I mean, traumatizing me to death as a 7-year-old kid, So out my back porch sliding glass door, we had a separate garage and a big night light on the top. So anything standing in front of that on our back porch is silhouetted. So a silhouette of a figure comes into that sliding glass door, and someone's got the 85 Don Post mask on. And wow. Yeah, so he comes charging through the sliding glass door. I'm screaming bloody murder. Run into my parents' closet, lock lock the closet, and the next thing I know is there's a real blade coming underneath the door trying to stab at me. And I'm all the way pinned back into the very back, screaming my head off. I guess my parents came home at the time and walked in and saw all this shit going on, and
Oh my
they
fucking god!
flipped shit.
Ah.
So funny story is, for about 6 years, I could not watch Halloween at all. And then I was at a girls' sleepover. The boys were invited earlier in the night, and then we had to leave. But there's a bunch of hot chicks there, and I'm 13. Hormones are raging, and they popped in. They popped in Halloween 4. Well, keep in mind, this is my first introduction since I was 7. So I got reintroduced with Halloween 4. I got to say I was scared, but having a bunch of hot women around, or chicks at the time, wasn't too bad. I got over that fear pretty quick.
I bet.
But yeah, then after that, I just kind of jumped back in it. Started. I wouldn't watch the original until I was about 16. But I watched 2, loved 2. I was the same with everybody with 3, but I had a different appreciation for 3. I was like, I actually really like this one, but I just wish they didn't call it Halloween 3, which is pretty common among most fans. But 4 and 5 were back to back to me, and then all of a sudden 6 came out when I was 17, and everybody knows me, knows my love for that film. So it was my first film in theaters.
Nice. Okay.
That's awesome.
So I know you have some. So I don't know if this is for sure, but you have a big love for Halloween 6. Is it your favorite Halloween film?
My favorite Halloween film? No. The original is always going to be my favorite, followed by the second one. But Halloween 4, and I've said this multiple times, to me, Halloween 4 was truly the last great sequel that was made.
Yeah.
That was on par with the first 2. I mean, it was different because it was a different time, but I can still see it in the same vein as those 2. Everything since then has been completely different, but Halloween 6 for me, the atmosphere, the mask obviously is my favorite since the original. It's my favorite sequel mask. The performance by Marianne and Donald Pleasance one last time, just the whole look of the film. To me, that was the most atmospheric film in the franchise. So from a visual storyteller, from a filmmaker perspective, the visuals of that film to me are unmatched from any of them, and that includes the original. So from that perspective, yes. From a music aspect, from the producer's cut aspect, with the soundtrack, that's my favorite to go along with the visuals. But as far as, obviously the storytelling gets a little far out there. But script is pretty bad, but there's a lot of really nice callbacks to the original.
We were just talking about Halloween 6 the other day. All right,
that's why I'm fucking dying over here. I'm like, oh man, yeah, out there isn't even the fucking word that I'd say for it. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I can't see all the comments, but if anybody's saying right now, listening to this, well, Michael raped his niece. No, actually, go listen to my interview series with Dan Ferens on Halloween Unleashed. He actually said that was not the intent.
Oh, the producer's cut, though, you mean, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So he said that it was actually supposed to be a callback to and a nod to Rosemary's Baby. Where she gave, it was a birth ceremony or something, or impregnation, where the evil was transferred to her. I never saw Rosemary's Baby, so I took his word for it because that was a big inspiration from him.
That makes sense. I've seen Rosemary's Baby, so that does make sense. That makes sense in a way, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. I like the theatrical cut, like it doesn't really allude to it, but when I watch the producer's cut and like you hear the things like please don't hurt me, Michael. And it you know, this and that. It's kind of like, what the fuck is going on? So I'd have to actually watch Rosemary's Baby to kind of understand the kind of callback to it.
Sure. Yep. And that's, like I said, that was kind of his whole pitch, you know, is he wanted to almost do like a Rosemary's Baby meets Halloween.
Mm. Okay. So she essentially got pregnant by no one?
From the evil spirit within.
Okay.
The shape. Yeah. I mean,
that's still pretty far out.
For a Halloween film, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. No, but I agree with you 100% now. Like Halloween 4 and Halloween 6, they have the most like moody scenes, the atmosphere. Like when I watch Halloween 6, and I was discussing this in our ranking the other week, how it feels cold. It feels like the autumn season. It just, there's something about it, like especially when they're at the they're at the park or where they're at the festival with Barry Sims.
The festival, yep.
Yeah,
yep.
and you can see Tommy Doyle and how he's walking through there. He looks visibly cold. It just calls back to October to me. It just feels so cold, especially in the Midwest. It's very accurate. At least it comes off that way. Very genuine to that sort of vibe and feeling during that time of year. So that's what I really appreciate and love about that film.
Yeah, and there was a lot of really nice camera work in that film too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Like the director of photography did an amazing job shooting that film.
100%, absolutely agree.
Oh yeah.
So I think I have two more questions. And so I won't keep you up too late. I know it's about past 10 o'clock your time. So I do appreciate you doing this. So what's coming up next for Halloween Unleashed?
That's I mean, we're trying to plan a live episode that we're trying to get going in March, and that would basically start the third season. Right now we've been kind of on hold because with everything that's been going on in our country the last few months, nobody knew what was going to happen, you know, and no matter what side of the fence you're on doesn't really matter to me at this point. The way I look at it is that's everybody's personal thing. So keep it to yourself. I keep mine to myself, and just go about your business and be happy and treat each other nice. But if you're going to walk around with your head in the sand, not say that there was a lot of tension from November until even present time, it's like I didn't want to make any commitments to go on the air until I knew life was going to settle down a little bit and we kind of knew what 2021 was going to be. We knew that we had a Halloween film coming out this year. So I knew that no matter what, eventually we were going to get to a season 3. But by the time we did our season finale of season 2, I'll be honest with you, I was burnt out. You know, we did almost a year's worth of content in about 6 months. So I was to the point where I was fried. And if you add in the fact that I was trying to revive my business again and trying to get through that, then my dad getting really sick and then ultimately passing away. I'm dealing with my own health issues. I'm also trying to be a teacher and I'm trying to be a parent at the same time. And I'm also trying to do hobby work too on the side. My plate was full and I was still trying to get 1, maybe 2 episodes a week out. And I was fried by the time October came. So I needed a little bit of a break. So I knew I was going to get to it. It's just I didn't know if it was going to be January, February, March, maybe April, but it's looking like we're going to try to get something going within the next month.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Hell yeah. Hey, I think I'm actually on there at some. There's an episode where the cutting room floor. I don't know if it's still up, but I was on there and that was really fun.
I saw that. Yeah, I think it is up there still.
Nice, cool. So this is kind of a follow up question to that. So you do Halloween Unleashed. And I know you like. I assume you like other horror movies and franchises and things like that. Do you ever plan on going outside of Halloween and maybe doing like Friday the 13th Unleashed or something like that?
Well, yes. I'm a huge fan of the Scream series. Absolutely love that series. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the fifth one. Have no idea. It's going to be really different with Wes not there, because no matter which film it is, Wes had a style to it that I don't think anybody's ever going to match, or if they try to, they're going to fail miserably because he had his own touch. But to answer your question, Corey Jones and I are actually going to come out with. It's going to be called the Cafe 80s podcast, and it's going to be everything 80s. It could be comedies, dramas, action flicks, horror, music, everything. So like video games. So we're going to cover everything, and we look at it as like we got a decade worth of content there that we can go any direction. We're not saddled to this little area that we start to run out of content at some point, because if we cover 5 episodes of Mass, well, that's five less topics that we can talk about later on, and then there's only 11 films in the franchise. So I mean, eventually you're going to run out of content and you're going to start repeating stuff. So with adding in the Cafe 80s, he came up with the idea. Adrian Hackenberg came up with the whole design. We got like the Cocktails and Dreams thing from Cocktail, and we got the hoverboard in there. We got a Pac-Man video game machine and the artwork. We've got the whole Pepsi thing from the 2015 Back to the Future in there. All kinds of really cool little nuggets. So we're going to cover stuff, and I think that the first wave of episodes that we're going to do is we're going to dive into the Karate Kid trilogy.
Nice.
And we're ultimately going to talk about Cobra Kai as well, even though it's not in the 80s. It's a callback to the 80s, so it goes with that. And right now, if you guys watch that series, I mean, I can't wait for season 4. So we're trying to coincide.
It.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. Were you a fan of the Karate Kid?
Yeah, I like the Karate Kid. Absolutely. I just haven't gotten around to seeing Cobra Kai yet.
Well, the way I said it is there's a lot of sequels out there. To me, Cobra Kai is a sequel done correctly.
Yeah.
Dad. Okay.
100%. It's crazy because I mean I've watched the Karate Kid films and I like them, but I hadn't watched them in probably a couple of decades, man. And when I watched Cobra Kai, I was like, I have to fucking go back and watch these films because this show is just epic. You put an episode on, you can't stop, man.
You can't. No.
Up to 4 a.m. and you're like, fuck, dude, I need to go to sleep, but you can't. You're just like, what's going to happen in the next episode? So I ended up finding myself going back and watching the films again. I actually bought the 5-disc set on Blu-ray on Amazon, and I ended up finding a newfound love for the films I already loved, but didn't realize I loved as much as I did. And that's thanks to the show because it did it so well, like Chris said.
Yeah, and I love all the little callbacks they do with, obviously with Cobra Kai, but including Miyagi and a lot of that, and a lot of the Bill Conti score kind of undertones are there. And it's just like, if you're a fan of the original trilogy, it's like, man, it's really well done.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So the last 2 questions were kind of like 2-in-1s. The final question for you, for me, would be your thoughts on kills and ends. Because I know you're not a big fan of 2018. So are you excited for kills? Are you kind of on the fence still?
This is gonna piss some people off. I'm always excited for a new Halloween film because that means there's more mainstream general audiences that gets to know about what you do, what I do, and what like the independent mass scene. Does it bring in more assholes? Absolutely it does. But like people that watch the 2018 film think that they know everything there is to know about Michael Myers, and that's who that is. And it's like, no, you need to travel back about 40 years.
Yeah.
That's Michael Myers. But my thing is I'm trying not to be too redundant. From my podcast where I covered Halloween 2018, But in order for me to talk about kills and ends, I have to bring up that film and just say that from a script perspective, it was a fucking train wreck. From a storytelling perspective, it was a train wreck. There were so many things in there, so many tropes, and so many little things that didn't make sense, that they took everything from each film and just kind of made it a best of hit piece from the entire series, but it just wasn't done as well. And if I want to watch a callback or a scene from H2O, well, fuck, I'll go watch H2O.
Right.
I'll watch that scene. I don't need to see a guy's teeth landing on in the bathroom to say, oh, well, this is bigger, so it must be better. To me, I like the simplistic bathroom scene from H2O versus the over grotesque violence in the new one. That's not to say I don't like the violence. I do. But there's only so many times I can watch someone get hit and hit and hit and hit where I go, fuck, I got it. I get it.
Is this
it's like overkill. It's like overkill at one point.
So, and I got to say, outside of putting butts in the seats, what the fuck was the purpose of Jamie Lee Curtis's character? There was no purpose. Michael wasn't going after her.
Continuity, man. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with that either.
But here's the other thing. For all those people that say that, well, he had no motive and that's, he was getting back to being that killer with no motive. Well, no, in the first one he had a motive.
Yeah.
The first one he had a motive. It was very simplistic. Him going after Lori and her friends was a callback to his sister. She was a young 17-year-old girl that he just happened to see, and he became fixated on her. And the whole thing was getting her trapped into one area, and he started by observing and slowly pinning her down. With this one, he breaks out and he just goes like a fucking maniac and just starts killing random people that I have no connection to, that I don't care. I mean, I thought that the stab through the neck was cool, but I'm going, why do I care about this lady? Who cares?
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't scary when I see him walking up behind her from 50 feet away. It's just like you did that shot just for the grotesque violence of it, and, maybe I'm being nitpicky, but I didn't need to see the whole side story with the boyfriend. I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, who cares? He throws your phone in nacho cheese dip. I could have got 10 more minutes of story out of the whole thing. It's little things like that where, like in the cemetery, if you wanted to have the podcasters mean something, if you wanted to have Lori tie back into this to where this all ties together, one scene could have done it. And that is when Allison is walking with her friends and they start talking about what happened back in Halloween 40 years prior. They get and they walk through the cemetery and walk up on Judith's grave. Well, Lori follows them there because she's already going to the school anyway. They did that little callback just so that we can see her outside the school. We'll have her go to the cemetery. The podcasters are already there around Judith's grave. Now Allison and her two friends are having that conversation through the cemetery. Lori pulls up. Michael's already there in the background. Michael spots Lori, sees that this person's important to her. All of a sudden now he's going after her to get to Lori. That makes that entire thing connect. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly that way, but I mean, just think about it. I mean, I get so tired of people just thinking that grotesque, over-the-top violence equals epic and amazing and oh my God. It's just like Michael Myers is back on screen, so I'm going to whip my dick out and start jacking off. It's like, I need more than that. I mean, I'm happy to see him, but give me more than that.
Yeah. I agree, man.
I feel you on that. I definitely feel like, there's a moment in the movie where she's like, he's waiting for me, I'll wait for him. And it's like, no, he didn't fucking wait for you. He's not been waiting for you. He's just going around killing people. He just happened to see you fucking from the upstairs of a house.
Exactly. And we
Yeah.
don't even know if he saw her because it was a reflection in a mirror.
That's true as well.
Very true.
So and if you didn't want to do that whole cemetery scene, well shit, she was parked right outside the prison when he was pulling out. Why not have a little scene where you see his eyes look over and they make eye contact and that makes him break out?
Yeah. That would have been cool. Actually, that
That's
would
been good.
simple. It's
Yeah.
simple.
They should have just had you come on to fucking edit everything. That's all. That's
Well,
all. That's
I
all
mean,
needed.
you know, there's a lot of people out there that think I'm salty because I didn't get the job, you know, for doing the mask for that film, but I was in the conversation. But you know, but to answer your question about Kills, there's been a lot of people that say, "Aren't you excited for Kills?" Yeah, of course I am. I'm a Halloween fan, and I'm also a mask maker, and it brings in more people to this side of the business. I'm always thankful for that. I hope they do 30 of these films, you know, because that just brings in more people to what we do and educates them to what we do into our world. But I've had people say, "But are you excited? Do you think this one's going to be better?" And I say, "No, I don't." And here's a simple reason why. You got everybody back. Everybody from behind the scenes to the people on screen that didn't die. You got everybody coming back. Some people think, well, that's a good thing. Yes. But if that film was already kind of a train wreck, they made $250 million. Who the fuck am I to say that it sucks? They just got 250 million reasons why they say your opinion's wrong, and they're going to do more of the same.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I say I don't think it's going to be better. I read the official script, and I'm just like, you're not only breaking the same, you're not only making the same mistakes you made last time, you're making bigger ones.
Oh, great.
So
it's the script is quite interesting. I will say that, and a lot of you kind of touched up a moment ago about how you like simplistic. You don't like it to be over the top, extra gory and things like that. So Halloween Kills is a good name for the film because if you read that script, you kind of get in.
Yeah, it's. I felt like I was reading a Rob Zombie Halloween, and I'm not trashing Rob Zombie's Halloween. I mean, there's fans of it out there, and if that's your taste, more power to you. It's not mine. Like, you know, we could touch on this a little bit, like that whole thing with the I get it. You know, like the scene in the beginning of the first remake when he's just pounding him with the fucking stick out in the woods. I'm like, shit, you've hit him 15 times. I get it. You got him. I would have got it after the first one, maybe even the second. You know, I don't need to see it 15 times. But then you go into part two, after, you know, the guy's just sitting there saying fuck for a minute and 15 seconds on screen. I'm going, okay, one fuck was enough. You know, I got it.
Help, fucking guy. Yeah, that was
So yeah, I mean, sorry to go off so long on that, but I mean, I probably pissed a lot of
you're good, man.
a lot of your audience off, but I told you, man, you can ask me any question. I may not give you the answer that you want, but at least I'm going to be straight with you.
Hey, people know what they're signing up for when they hop on here. So I mean, they're just gonna have to fucking deal with it.
And you,
well, yeah.
That actually, there are some people in the comments because I'm glancing over, and people are agreeing with you, and I agree with you too.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. Guys, I mean, you got me as long as you. I mean, you don't have to rush me off. I mean, I appreciate it. You know, I'm open to answering anything because I feel like that. You know, I've been talking a lot, so I mean, if you got any other questions, I'm here to stay as long as you want me. So
you're a guest.
I was gonna say I just checked the chat myself. It seems like there's a shit ton of chatter going on in there.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's dive into the. Okay. So I'll see if Trevor has any other questions. Then we'll dive into the comment section. One thing I didn't mention, and I wanted to mention this, is yes, Chris Morgan here, our guest. He was in the running to do the mask for the film. You see the promo shot of Jamie Lee Curtis with Michael Myers when they first announced Halloween was coming back. That mask was from you, Chris. Correct?
Yep. Malika Cod. Yeah, Malika Cod. Obviously is friends with Dan Ferens. I'm friends with Dan Ferens. I sent my two proto JTKs to Dan Farron's for him in a trade for him doing a signature series run on my Mayhem mask that I did way back when. And I sent it to him, and he loved them, and he wanted to show Malik. And at the time, I wasn't too open to that because that just kind of made me feel uneasy. I'm like, well, this is the grand producer of the entire franchise. You're going to show him an independent mask. I don't know if I feel good about that,
Right.
But he talked me into it. He went and had lunch with him, showed him that mask, and Malik fell in love with it. And he said, "Can you get me in touch with the guy who made it? Because I want to tell him I really appreciate it, and I would like to have one for my office." So Dan's like, "Well, yeah, I can get you in touch with the guy, but why don't you just take mine?" So Malik has my proto H1 JTK. He's had it on his desk since 2012,
Wow.
and there's every event that he showed up to with Dean Cundy. I mean, you can Google image search this Malik Akkad, and you'll see him with Dean Cundy, and you'll see a mannequin and the JTK mask in the background. So he takes it everywhere he goes. And so we kind of, I spoke to him on the phone through Dan for him thanking me for the mask and praising it, and I was like in nerd heaven at that point. And when Marcus Dunstan was attached, it was about in 2015 where they were going to do Halloween Returns, like 5, 6, 7 years ago at this point. Dan Farron's is really good friends with Marcus Dunstan, and Malik reached out to Dan and said, "Hey, are you still close with the guy who made the mask for me?" And Dan's like, "Yeah." So Dan and I got on the phone. We chit-chatted and said, "I'd like to introduce you to Marcus, as Malik really wants to go with you for Returns to do the mask." And I was like, "Sweet." At this point, I was pretty much out of it, but I sat down and I started to sculpt something based on what they were looking for. At the time, it was going to be a sequel to Halloween 2. I was like, "Are you wanting more of a burnt concept? I mean, is this a direct sequel?" They said, "No, it's taking place like as if the rest of the franchise didn't happen. It's a direct sequel to 81. We're going to show flashbacks, and then we're going to show him locked up, some odd years later." I'm like, "Okay, sounds good." So you basically want a more of a clean 78 look. And they said, "Yeah." That's when I started working on what was eventually known as The One. I started working on that sculpt. Then that project got shelved, and that was in early 2016, and then we didn't hear shit until later that year when John Carpenter announced that he was coming back to executive produce the next installment. Well, then the year after that is when Jamie Lee Curtis had announced that she was coming back. I knew she was coming back because I had been keeping in contact with Malik through email for a couple of years. I'd reach out ever so often just to check in. And he sent me an email one day and he said, "Do you have a few minutes that we can chat? I tried to get your number from Dan, but Dan's tied up on a project. Give me your number." So I typed it back to him. He called me and he said, "All right, there's two things. I need to get you, I need to ask if you can sign a release, and I need to ask your permission if I can use your mask for a photo shoot." And I said, "Sure." And I said, "Well, what's it for?" And he said, "Well, keep this confidential, but Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back, and we're going to do a recreation of the porch scene of her in her outfit, and I want to use your mask as him in the shadows in the background." I said, "Yeah." And he said, "That's what the photo release is for." So I was like, "Sure, yeah, I'll send it over. I'll sign it." And so it was for two shoots. It was the one with her on the porch, and the second photo shoot was her laying in the leaves with her covering her mouth, and he's laying in the leaves with her.
Mhm.
and so that's also the same mask. So at that point, talks got really serious that they were wanting me to submit a sculpt for the new film. And so I said, well, okay, no problem. Are we still going with a direct sequel to H2? What are we doing? They said, no, it's going to take directly 40 years after the original. This is basically going to be the new Halloween 2. And so I said, okay. And I had the one pretty much already done. I had to resculpt a few things on it, and I put it into latex form, painted it up, did a few pictures of it, and sent it out to him. And he fell in love with it. John fell in love with it. I'm talking like I know him on first name basis. I don't. Mr. Carpenter loved it. The production team loved it. And they were getting ready to move the crew into position for South Carolina. And I was going to come up and I was going to meet James Jude Courtney, and I was going for a fitting, and I was going to meet several other people. And then all of a sudden, my trip got canceled. And the next thing I know, like a week later, it was announced that a certain company was going to get the license to produce the 2018 mask, and that Nelson and Van Dyke had signed on to create it. And I said, huh, I
Wow.
wonder if something happened. I mean, I can only speculate. But I've been doing this a long time, and I know how this game is played. So to say that, is it a possibility that something happened like that, like some backdoor thing? Sure. But at the end of the day, the fact that I got as far as I did, I am grateful for it, and I'm thankful. And I still have those contacts to this day. I'm still friends with Malik. Friends. We still communicate every once in a while. He'll reach out. I'll reach out to him, and just to let him know I'm still here. It's the networking aspect, and the fact that I have some of the contacts and connections that I have, I'm extremely thankful for. So, but I can always say that one of my masks ended up in some iconic shot. So that's pretty.
That's sick.
That's awesome.
That is
that's
pretty
amazing.
Cool. And on top of that, now I know this is fan film related, but Halloween Inferno, they used the GKY, right?
They used the SS-78, and the blank was finished by Bill.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that mask is in there. So when you see the flashback scene, that's Chris's mold, the same mold as you see up here, just different finish and everything. But yeah, that's a cool story, man. I don't think I've heard it touched up that detail.
What's that?
The story of the mask for the photo shoot, and how you were almost a part of this film. I mean, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I didn't know shit about it either.
Yeah, I was pretty excited. And you know, here's the thing. I think if they had told me that they were going to go with an aged look, I wouldn't have sent them a recreation of the 78. You know, and they probably, and this could be the other side of the coin. It could have been they didn't want to get back into some legal bullshit again with Shatner's people. Could have been that too. So I am playing devil's advocate and looking at the other side, not just looking at it from a negative perspective. All those avenues are possibilities, and that's all I have to say is they're all possibilities. But once I discovered that they went with an aged look, I was like, well, if you're doing a direct sequel to the original and you're trying to have the original mask but aged 40 years, they kind of missed the mark on that, because it doesn't look like the original Shatner.
No.
So
no.
What's that?
Not even the clean look.
No, it does. I mean, it's a cool mask, but you know, for all those out there saying he's shitting on the 2018 mask, but no, I'm not. I personally, and this is just my personal taste, I know that they're different masks. It's not the same as the Rob Zombie mask, but the rotted, aged, weathered, decayed latex look for Michael Myers to me has been played out since 2007. I would like a more return to the clean mask, pale white ghost mask that they had from 40 years ago. But anyway, I decided that I was like, well, if they're never going to use this sculpt, I have it here. I still have the silicone mold made. Let me put it back in clay. Let me see what this thing would look like as an aged mask. And so I began to add my own scarring and aged and tethered look, and I came up with the aged one. And that's my take. It's not accurate to the film at all. It's just, hey, if you had hired me to make you an aged mask off of the original H1, H2 look, this is what I would have delivered to you.
Right.
I've seen pictures of the aged one, and I've seen pictures of the one. I've actually watched a video with someone named Scott Kennard, who was doing a video with Rick Ramby, where that was being showcased, and that sculpt and that finish, the sculpt and finish are just fucking. When I saw that video, I was like, I need that in my life. That video was the first videos that I had seen where I was like, this is how I'm going to get into the hobby. And I think that's what got me into the hobby. Is that
a lot of his video, a lot of Scott's videos, same here, man. Absolutely, I agree with you.
That sculpt is pretty amazing.
Well, thanks. It started in 2015, and the final touches and before I sent stuff off was completed late 2016, early 2017. And then I think I revisited everything by sending him off a pull, finished in September of 2017.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Cool story behind it, though.
No, very cool story, man. Very cool. By chance, did you have anything you wanted to follow up with, Trevor? Because then otherwise I will dive into the comment section real quick.
I was gonna ask Chris what your opinion is on like the current state of how the hobby's going.
To be honest with you, if you had asked me 6, 7, 8 years ago, I probably could have told you everything. But
Right.
I've purposely, believe it or not, I've removed myself from knowing too much. I keep my head down. I stay to my work. I keep my circle extremely small, and I really don't pay attention to it much.
Hey, more power to you, man.
I just try to keep it positive, man. I look at this as this is my second go around. I've always said that if I ever got back into it, I would want to do things differently. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at it, is like, this is my second chance to come back in. People have heard numerous false stories about me. None of it's true. Only traces of it, but there's a whole lot of narrative inserted to make it look one direction. Like, biggest story is I'm the biggest dickhead on the planet, and no, I treat people accordingly. You know, I've said it many times. I've said it to James. I've said it to anyone who's talked to me. I hate typing. If you get more than 2 sentences out of me in a Facebook message, you're doing great, because I hate it. I would rather do what I'm doing right now, and that's have a conversation. I'm extremely ADD, and I cannot keep my concentration that long because I got 50 things going on at one time. So I hate typing, but a lot of people put emotion into text and they think that I'm being a dick. And I'm like, no, I'm just giving you a quick answer as fast as I can so I can get back to what I was doing. It's nothing personal. It's not that I'm being an asshole. I didn't have any connotation to it when I wrote you back. It's how you took it. I don't know what happened to you 30 seconds before you messaged me, but maybe your dog got hit by a car or something and you're distraught and my message hits you at the wrong time. I don't know. That's why humor in text doesn't come across very well.
No,
Because if someone just went through something traumatic and you're trying to be a smartass, well, that's not going to play very well. so
no, I agree, man. Absolutely.
so I just try to be short and direct. But yeah, I look at it this way. I got a second opportunity. Get to know me for me. Ignore what people say.
Right.
I'm the easiest to deal with, and I have a pretty straightforward approach. As long as you're not a lying two-faced dickhead, and you shoot with me straight, and you don't blow smoke up my ass, chances are we're going to be just fine. But if you are one of those people, well, yeah, I can be a real asshole. That's why I said, I treat people accordingly.
Yeah, that's how I am, man. Just be real with me, and I'll be real with you. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
It is pretty simple.
That's what you should
Nothing
be.
more to it.
But yeah, to finish up your question, I wish I could give you a better answer.
Understandable.
I don't pay attention too much anymore. I just do my work, and someone messages me, I chat. But if somebody sends me something that is controversial, I just say, "Oh, I don't know anything about it," and I just move on. I act like it didn't even faze me.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's probably the best way to do
Understandable.
it nowadays. It's been pretty. The water's been murky lately, you know.
Oh man, it's just yeah, you're not missing fucking much, man. We'll just say that.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It's a fucking mess.
Yeah, it is. Totally. I can jump down to the comments and take a little look at these. How's it going, Art? Thank you. I guess you have to. I think I clicked on the wrong one. Art Wishwood. Hi, James and Trevor. How's it going, man? Thanks for joining. This is from comments from earlier. From the beginning. My bad. Kyle, hi, James and Trevor. How's your evening going? This is going to be a blast, dude. This has been a blast. This has been so fucking fun. And honestly, I've gotten to know. This was like my goal was to learn more about Chris Morgan, the person, the filmmaker, the artist, and it's been fucking awesome, dude.
Well, it's been great chatting with you guys too. I got the privilege of chatting with Trevor a couple of months ago, right before Christmas, and I was like, man, it was really cool talking to him. I was like on cloud nine after that, because I was just like, you don't get that through posting on pictures or PM. Like I was just saying, it's so impersonal. But when we sat there and chatted, man, it's like I had known you for 10 years.
Yeah, it was a good 2-3 hour conversation at least.
Yeah, for sure. And James, I know you and I we've chatted here and there. We've sent voice messages back and forth, which I actually like that. I can't always listen to them right away, but I definitely prefer that, because it really takes the question mark of what's this person meaning by this, and it takes all that out of it.
Connotation here, what's being inferred here, and you can hear through the tone of voice, like it's not hostile or anything like that in comparison to a text that may come off hostile, but it's like no, it's an actual question. I'm not trying to be a dick or anything. So yeah, voice messages I actually much prefer. I don't think Trevor does though.
No, I mean sometimes I do, but sometimes I'm just always around people, and then and shit's just loud around me. So I just prefer the text real quick. And I'm not one of those people that's just gonna automatically take your text as hostile. I try to think in my head how you would fucking say it, because I've talked to James so many times. I would just imagine the tone that he's fucking using, or with Chris I've interacted with quite a bit and listened to his podcast. I would imagine how he's fucking saying it. So I think I have that ability to distinct of what's a shitty text and what's not. I don't know. It's weird.
Right.
I'm seeing something in this StreamYard chat. I'm not seeing everything, but Jake Frost asked a direct question. Can I answer it?
Sure. Yeah.
Jake Frost asks, "Hey Chris, how's your health joint pain been doing? I know there was a point where things got pretty tough for you." Yeah, since 2012, I've had degenerative arthritis in my neck, and
wow.
it's a constant thing. That's one of the major reasons I wanted to get out of this stuff, because when you're sitting over a mask, hairing it, painting not so much, but hairing it, because it's so tedious that you're looking down constantly. And if you got degenerative arthritis in your neck, that's a lot of strain.
Yeah.
But on top of it, yeah, I'm still in a lot of pain, but I'm just getting to the point where I know what I can handle, and I try not to push it too far past that, because if I do, I'm going to be shut down for probably 2 weeks, and I can't afford that right now. And I just went through that here a couple weeks back, where if you haven't seen much from me in a couple weeks, and this week suddenly you're seeing things pop up, you're going, why is that happening? It's typically two things. Either number one, bad weather. Maybe three things. Number one, bad weather. Number two, I have celiac disease, so I got cross contamination somehow, and I'm sick as a dog, and I'm shitting all the time for 3 or 4 days. So
It happens, man. It happens.
and then number three is I worked too much, did too much, and now I'm down for the count. But I'm also I'm finding that I'm having a lot of nerve issues and degenerative muscle issues, and I've been running tests, and doctors are getting to the bottom of that. And I do have an autoimmune disease that I was just diagnosed with that I've got to get treated for that too. So yeah, my health sucks.
Oh man,
I remember we were talking, I think it was a couple months ago, and you were talking about wearing an H6 mask, and you were telling me how long it usually takes you, but then you told me how long it took you to do that one mask because of how messed up your back was and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's a scary situation. I obviously we all want the best for you, wish you the best, and I hope it gets better, dude.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've had a couple close friends say, "Well, what's going to be the plan going forward?" To be honest, I don't know. Everything's still new. I got to get into about 5 different specialists, and this is why I never really went to the doctor, because I'm like, once you start going down that rabbit hole, you don't know how deep it's going to go. And now I'm going, oh shit, now I wasn't expecting to go down this deep already, but when you're in pain all the time and you got 2 little ones, I got a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old, I don't want them to be 20, 25, 30 years old and say, Daddy was hurt all the time. And, when I was little and wanted to play. So I'm trying to get better for them and be a better dad. That's the most important thing. And I love doing house projects and everything. So when I'm feeling good, I'm constantly doing things to upgrade my house. But when I'm feeling bad, it's like I don't want to hear from nothing or nobody at that point.
Right.
Definitely.
Understandable, man.
Thanks, Jake, for that. Do appreciate it. Thank you for being here, man. It's super cool. He joined last video we did on Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So thanks, Jake, for the support. Sino Charles Kruger, thanks so much for joining as well. Antonis Andriotis, thank you so much. There's Dave Vanderhoff. He said this earlier in the chat. Yes, hi. He says, hello, Chris. It's your old friend Dave Vanderhoff. Can't believe you and I were IMing back in 2000, 2001.
Yeah, back in the AOL days. I remember Dave very, 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 very well. I saw you had posted something that you did for him recently, and then that's when it spawned me. I'm like, is that the same Dave? And so I sent him a message on Instagram, and I said, is this the same Dave? And he's like, yeah, what's going on? So yeah, through you, he and I got reconnected. So it was pretty neat.
Dave's a cool guy. I really enjoy his conversations. He showed me some images and things of like cons he went to back in the early 2000s, and he mentioned you a couple times and everything. So yeah, that's cool that you guys got connected again after close to 20 years.
Yeah, it was. He and I talked a couple times on the phone back then. He used to put together ultimate cuts of the Halloween series, and I bought several of those off of him, and I think the tapes finally gave out about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So I had them that long, and they meant that much to me.
Wow.
That's cool. That's super
awesome.
Cool, man. After all these years, that's fucking awesome. Juan the King 49 says he tells you, Chris, to turn your camera on. It's legit.
I have a face for radio.
That's right. And if you listen to his podcast, he explains that, he doesn't like being on camera, and that's respectable. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm nervous being on camera too. Like half the time before we go on, I'm like kind of fucking freaking out, and then I chill out after a while, but it's okay. Everyone has their own thing, and nothing wrong with that.
I'm sitting here shirtless in a lawn chair eating Cheetos, and I don't want people to see my nipples.
Hey, that's fine, man. That's fine.
That's great. I love it. He says you're legit 8 feet tall. Now you do look pretty tall, Chris. Now you'd had a cameo in your film. I don't remember if it was H35 or not, but there's one of them you had a cameo. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. And in both films.
Both films.
Yep.
You look fairly tall.
I'm not. I'm the same height as I think Dick Warlock's 5'10", right?
He's like 5'8".
Is he okay? Well, yeah. Well, I just sort of figured he started out as 5'10" and he shrank as he got older. Because I was like 2 inches taller than him, so maybe that's about right. Okay. But I'm 5'10", 5'11" with certain shoes, so I'm not that tall.
Pretty average, actually.
See, I'm 6'2".
Are you really?
Yeah. I'm a pretty tall individual. Size 13 shoe. Yeah.
Walking into fucking ducks and shit.
Dude, it's fucking hard. You know what, man? Short people, I fucking envy short people, man. People that have like a size 12 under with shoes. It's so hard looking for shoes that are size 13. And when you do, they're more expensive than the person with the average fucking foot size. So, I don't get that shit. It kind of sucks being tall sometimes, but I take it how it is.
Take it as a compliment, man, because if the whole rumor is true, you're hung like a horse.
I'm not gonna comment on that. But no, just know, yeah, I'm a pretty large individual, for sure.
Nice. I'm short. I'm like 5'9" ish, 5'9.5". Man.
There you go. Yeah, I went to a Halloween party around it then. October, a couple days before Halloween, and then there was another dude there that was dressed up as Michael Myers, like H40 style, and he was short, man. Like I'm just standing there, like I had logger boots on too. I was like dressed up in my Warlock, and I had logger boots on, so that added to my height like about 2 inches. So I'm like standing there next to this dude who's like chest height. I'm like, okay, well, I think
your mini me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh yeah, it's my kid, didn't have a babysitter.
Speaking of cons and stuff, because you had brought up Dave going to cons, me and a group of friends, we would dress up as the different Michaels and stuff. And we would always run into a few guys that would show up with the store-bought coveralls that were bright blue and, of course, a mass-produced mask. And we would always call them Rent-A-Myers.
Yeah, that's how I think of it. Yeah, you got a fucking point there.
Pictures that are floating around. I'm wondering if they're yours. There's like multiple people dressed as Michael Myers, all different variants, and they have beers in their hand.
Yep, that's us.
That's awesome.
The picture, you've probably seen it. It's gone viral. But there's a group of Michael Myers is taking a piss at the urinal and looking at the camera. That's my buddy Marcus and the Night Stalker in the very front. I'm about 3 deep, but yeah, we're on there taking a piss, and I did not know that thing was going to go viral.
That's fucking hilarious. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That was from Days of the Dead Atlanta back in 2014.
Oh, nice.
See, I wish New York had cool shit. Like, I mean, like, in New York City, there's conventions and stuff, but up where I am in like central New York, there isn't shit anymore. I mean, it's Rochester now. Like, ScareCon used to be like a convention that was like a local one, and then they moved to Rochester, which is like fucking 2 hours away. So it's kind of dry up here with that scene. That's why I don't know. I fucking hate living in New York sometimes just for that reason. Nothing cool ever fucking happens. New York City. But it's so expensive. Like, just going down there for a day is expensive. Like, just driving through the Holland Tunnel alone will cost you fucking $15 each way. Not even shitting you. And it's fucking hate New York City. Just overall, just expensive. Too many fucking people. It's just not worth even going sometimes.
You guys are taxed to hell too, aren't you?
You fucking know. It's just getting worse, man. Like the other day, I was getting some stuff and I just noticed that everything just went up. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's just like it just never ends because our state's just going broke. And that's why they're talking about legalizing pot lately, just to fucking fix everything. And they've been stalling for the past 10 years with that. They should have passed it like 10 years ago, but apparently Governor Cuomo couldn't figure out what to do with billions of dollars in revenue for a state with a failing fucking infrastructure and businesses. But that's how it goes in New York.
That sucks.
It does. Not to get political or nothing, but that's just life in New York. Just to be realistic here, if anyone else watching it lives in New York, you understand what I mean. Unless you live in New York City, he likes New York City a lot more than upstate. I promise you that.
Yeah. Speaking of, sorry, I'm going to change subjects here. We're getting too political. Speaking of other pictures going viral, it comes out every year and someone sends it to me and I'm just like, fuck, is like, I should have watermarked this motherfucker.
Oh man.
There's a picture of Michael Myers holding the goblet and then showing his nipple.
Yes.
And it says, "Hello, October. I've been waiting for you." I took that picture.
Really?
Yep. I took it in 2011.
No way. That's amazing.
Yeah, I got the original. If you go to my Facebook, it's in my I think it's in my uploads where I show the entire photo, like before it was cropped out and all that stuff. But yeah, we were doing a Night Stalker photo shoot with Marcus. He was like always playing my dress up shape whenever I was doing like mask photos. And we just had this really cool photo shoot, and then we just started firing the trigger of him just being an idiot. And that was one of the things that he did. And I'm just like, oh, this is cool. I'll post it on my timeline or whatever. And someone obviously fucking grabbed it and made a meme out of it. And yeah, every time somebody sends it to me, I'm like, yeah, I took that shot, but cool. Like now I see him on t-shirts and everything else. And I said, Marcus, I said, your nipples are famous forever.
And you also made it possible, man. So there you go. That's a story to tell your kids one day.
And didn't receive a dime.
Nah, that's fucking crazy though. That's insane. It's just little simple shit like that. That's the day and age we're in. Just little simple things like that just get launched into the world like that.
Yeah.
Jake Frost says, "Hey Chris, what's the best way to take a picture of my Myers mask on my toilet?" Don't do
Jesus. it. That's the best way right there. Don't bring your fucking mask into a place where you shit, man.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
It's disgusting, man. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
do you know how hard it was to stage those photos to make them look bad? It was that hard. And I'm just like
cringy.
Yeah, it's like it. Go watch some YouTube videos or ask me for some help or something.
Yeah.
I would be happy to help people.
Right.
It's not hard.
No, man, that's a whole fucking thing in itself.
Yeah.
No, that's something I would never. I mean, I assume maybe like you have to go to the bathroom really bad. You just got this mask in the mail. And you're just like, I can't stop looking at it. Maybe one time or something. I've never.
Not at all. I've never done that. I have never. None of these masks behind me have ever entered where I've fucking taken a piss or shit ever. Never. That's just not possible. No way. Scratch that theory off your fucking head.
How about when you slip the shillelagh?
I don't know, man. I'll excuse it. All right, so here's my thing. I'll excuse it if you're at like a party or something, like a Halloween party or something, and you're blasted and you don't want to leave your mask laying around. There's a pass right there. That's a very legitimate reason. But any other time, I don't know. I don't think so. No.
Respect.
Don't ever try to wear it in the bedroom. I'll just say that you can't breathe in that fucker.
Yeah, I could imagine. It's hard enough at a fucking party to walk around in that shit with other humans that are fucking sweating and giving off massive amounts of body heat.
Just give the castle stretch the entire time. You'll be all right.
Oh yeah, no, I mean there's no hope for you. You'd have better luck breathing through a Ziploc bag than trying to fuck with that thing on.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I know because I've tried it.
He's not even holding back. He's like, yeah, personal experience. Fuck it. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I gotta try this.
Someone asked me that one time, and I was like that, and they didn't even say hello to me or anything. They didn't even say hi. Like they just that was the first thing they fucking asked me if I've ever done it. I'm like, no, like, but hello to you too. How are you? How about we fucking start there before you start asking me shit like that?
Come on, babe. I'm with you with the mask on.
It's like, what the fuck, man? Like some people just, I don't know, man. Not a good first impression on my end, but I can understand where that'd be a not very comfortable situation.
No.
Yeah. I think because you sweat so much in those things, I think I experienced what waterboarding is like.
That's a good way to put it. There you go. Pretty brutal, pretty intense. There you go.
For sure.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Well, we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes and 40 seconds. This has been absolutely fun. Thank you so much for being here, Chris. I have been holding my piss in for quite some time. So unless you guys have anything else, Trevor, you have anything else? Anyone else in the comment section have for Chris today? I want to say thanks for spending almost 2 hours with us, getting to know more about you. This has it's been an absolute blast getting to know you, man.
Oh, it's been great, man. It was like I was honored that you guys asked. Are you guys cool if we do a little cross promotion where I post this episode on Unleashed as well?
No, that's fine, man.
I'll do a little intro, kind of directing people over to you. It's just I'd like to have you guys on season 3 as well at some point. And that way, we can we can pay it forward.
Yeah, I'd be honored, man.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, guy, and anyone who's here who likes listening to podcasts, you commute to work like I do every day, dude. Check out Halloween Unleashed if unless you already have. Like, dude. So if you're wanting to get into collecting, you want to know more about the masks, things behind the scenes from the movies, check it out. It's very it's very informative. I've learned a lot about this mask hobby from that podcast.
Yeah, same here.
So check it out. Halloween Unleashed. Hosted by Mr. Chris Morgan, who is our special guest today. Been a blast getting to know you, man. And yeah, guys, check that podcast out. It's fucking amazing.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I can definitely say this. It's like I don't know everything that there is to know about it because obviously I'm still learning as well. But this is my 22nd year between collecting and obviously I started really going seasonally in 2009, and then I told the story of going full time in 2010 to 2015, and now I'm back doing it a little bit more of a part-time schedule, but yeah, 22 years in this independent thing that we call Michael Myers and Halloween. And the first mask that was out there on the independent level that I saw was the He mask by Steve Wang, and it was cool that 10 years after the fact I got to buy that mold, and it was neat, so I've gotten to see some really cool things and things that I don't look at things as work. I look at this as just fun, and I get to hang out with a bunch of like-minded people. And I think that's why I took everything when I was ran out of this place 5-6 years ago so hard, because I look at everybody as a friend. And I'm like, we all have the same thing in common. Why is there so much division, and why does it have to be that way? And why can't we just get along and just support each other and be nice people, be decent people. Don't be a dick. And, whether you buy a Tots mask or whether you buy a $3,000 mask, it's not my cash. So what the fuck do I care?
Right.
It's not on my shelf. I have no business telling you what you spend your entertainment dollar on. None.
Absolutely.
100% knocked it.
I couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah.
I could not have said that any fucking better at all.
Man, it's very true. Too much, like we were kind of, me and Trevor were mentioning about halfway through this podcast, was there's a lot of just divisive shit going on, a lot of division and a lot of this and that, where it's like, dude, just enjoy the fucking mask. It's latex. Like, why are we arguing right now?
Yeah, it's awful. It's just awful, especially nowadays. Like, I know Chris said he doesn't see it as much because he's taking the smart route and not fucking got involved, but it's just gotten nasty, man. It's just gotten nasty. There's people have gotten more fucking hypocritical. They've gotten more, they're just so interested in just fucking dragging shit on, and it's just like, God damn, shut the fuck up already.
Well,
Like,
that's the
sit
thing.
down.
It's like if I would have taken this mentality 10 years ago, I'd be in a much better place. But here's the truth, and negativity is always going to be there, no matter what. I've told people this is why I'm not interested in hearing about it or seeing it or being around it. If somebody has said anything about me, it's nothing new. It's just the stories have gotten more elaborate at this point, and about 90% of these people at this point that are saying this shit, I've never talked to or ever sold a mask to. So where they're getting this information from is telephone, telegram, wrestler, type thing. And that's exactly what it is. And it's like, all right, well, instead of just following like and baying like a sheep that you're acting like, why don't you actually come and get to know the person and make your mind up for yourself?
Right.
And if I truly treat you like a dick, then I've deserved every bit of it. But if you've heard anything about me, if I have done something to you, and James can attest to this, if I've offended you in any way and you come to me, I will hear you out and I will be like, you know what? You're absolutely right. And I'm sorry. And I will apologize like a man for making you feel that way, because that definitely was not my intention. I have given James some advice, some things that he has not wanted to hear, probably sometimes, but I did it from a good place. I didn't do it to be a dick, but that goes back to that whole text thing.
Yeah.
But, I think he could truly attest that looking back on it with some space in there, I meant no ill will or malice towards him at all. It's just, if I see something that I have lived through or watched other people go through, and I think you're a pretty up and coming, decent dude, I'm going to do everything in my power to give you the warning signs, let you make up your own mind, but I'm going to try to educate you as best as I can. So that way they're not blindsided by something, or something's not derailed or taken from them. And they're sitting there going, what the hell? I didn't see this coming. If I can help somebody avoid some of the negative paths that I've taken, I'm going to continue to preach that. That's just who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, like before me and you started interacting, I've heard from people that are like, "Oh, Chris Morgan says he's, yada yada yada," and I started talking. I'm like, he's not bad. He's not that much of an asshole. He just fucking real recognizes real. That's really what it is. It's like, so you guys are saying he's an asshole for saying how it fucking is. All right, I want to get to know the fucking dude. That's fine, because that's something that I can get on fucking board with. That's right up my alley. It's like, I don't like being fake with people. It's like, you're gonna hear what you're gonna hear, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, if you need to fucking hear something, you're gonna hear it. How you take it? That's on you.
That's the way I am too, and it's like, I don't mince words, and I don't put on any facade or anything. It's just like, I am who I am. It's either you like me or you don't. And there's no in between there. And it's like, don't play this, half in, half out shit. It's like, if you're in, be in. If you're out, be out. But let's not muddy the waters here. Let's let it be black and white.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anyway, that's all I got. I really appreciate you guys getting me on here. This was a lot of fun, and it definitely has felt good to be an asshole with an opinion.
Fuck yeah, man!
I love it, dude. Like, honestly, I love it. Like, keeping it real and honest. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And dude, it's been, like I said before, it's been a pleasure getting to know you more. Like, we've been talking for a couple years off and on, and things like that. And kind of, Chris was one of the first people I kind of knew when I started getting introduced to the hobby, sort of. Yeah. So getting to know him more through this podcast, other than our conversations through Instagram or Facebook, it's been a treat, man, honestly, to know where you started and where you are now.
It's been a very interesting ride. And to be honest with you, I know it probably sounds cliche, but I'm blessed and I'm thankful. I'm grateful, and to the people I've made some really good friends, and met some really cool connections. And it's something I'm extremely proud of. And getting a second chance to come through this again from something that I was so passionate about, and I'm doing it from a really good, clear mind now, with the right mentality. Um, is a gift, and I'm just not going to let anybody side rail me. And I'm going to treat people how they treat me. And if you're fair, you're honest, you ask my opinion. I'll just say this: if you ask my opinion, be prepared to get the answer. uh, I can't be any more direct than that. And I will try to be as respectful as I can, but I'm gonna speak the truth in love, and it's either you're going to take it or you're not. But it always comes from a very honest and real place, and that's all we can ask from anybody.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, man. 110 fucking percent.
It's one of those things, so it's good to keep it real, man.
Hell yeah.
By the way, before we part, is that a Halloween 5 mask I see back there?
Oh yeah, right there.
No, over your other shoulder.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a KNB with nose appliance.
Oh, very nice. I can only see the basic shape, and I'm like, that looks like an H5. Very nice. Very cool.
Hell yeah.
And then the H2O as well. And then I got my Thorn stuff over here. Got my Raining Red there and H5 there. And then that's a TOS H4. It's a placement right now, but yeah, I like it. And then that's the SS.
Oh, yeah. Okay, very cool. And then I see a Warlock and a Jason.
I just got the Warlock today, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Did you get it direct from Terry, or did you buy it secondhand?
Secondhand.
It's nice. From this distance, it looks really good.
Honestly, it's probably one of the best I've seen in a long time. I actually messaged Terry about 2 weeks ago because I wanted to order one, and he never responded. So I was like, I'm just gonna go secondhand. Yeah,
no, it's nice. Shoot me over some pictures privately later if you get a chance. The Warlock came out when I was in my peak collector fandom, so it always is going to hold a special place in my heart for that reason.
I love the Warlock, man. I got mine straight from Terry, and he did a fucking fantastic job on it.
Yeah, he does great work. And it's one of the things I constantly say is like, if Terry's on, Terry's on. And there's not really much better when it comes to the weathering style. He comes from a very old school vibe, which I totally dig. And like I said, that's from my era. So you're never going to get me to say a bad word about his finishing ever.
No, dude, he's fantastic. Even his hair work is just fucking great, man. I don't know what he does, but he works magic on anything he does.
Yeah, I always say he kills 2 camels, and he buys stock in Aquanet.
That's crazy. It's just good, man. Like I looked at mine when I first got mine. I was like, this is fucking unbelievable. Like this is a great mask, and so many people talk shit on it, but I love it.
Here's the thing, and let them talk shit. It's like as long as you put it out publicly, you're going to get a public opinion. And
right.
I always say if you're winning more than you're losing as far as what the public opinion is, you're doing something right. So buy what you like, what your money wants to spend it on, and screw everybody else because it's for you.
Exactly.
Yep.
And if you ever got to sell it for any reason, there'll be somebody else out there that feels the exact same way you do and will buy it.
Yep.
Agree.
They sure fucking will.
So, somebody did just asked a question in the chat about H2O opinions.
Oh, okay. Let me see where we're at here.
Movie, chat, and more.
Oh, okay.
As far as H2O goes, as far as the mask or the movie, do you think he's talking about the movie or the mask?
I would probably imagine overall.
Yeah, overall, I say.
personally, I wanted to see the H6 storyline with the characters. I wanted to see that continue to see where they were going to go with it, but I wasn't mad at it. You know, it's not my favorite. It's pretty short. I don't like the Scream soundtrack in it. I thought the lighting was a little bland, to be honest with you. And a lot of the production design was cheap. I liked the seclusion aspect until I saw it. And then I'm like, it would have been really cool to see that original draft that they had wrote. I think that Kevin Williamson had wrote, where there was actually a Halloween school dance going on there, and that there was a pool beneath the gymnasium floor that opened up, and there was dead bodies in there and shit. And I'm just like, I would have loved to have seen that. You know,
That would have been fucking crazy.
it would have been. And I'm just like, I really wanted to see probably another 20 minutes added onto it, and added a little bit more stalking and different things. But I thought that the opening sequence with Marion Chambers, I thought that was fantastic.
So
Nice dickhead.
Yeah, that's a nice dick.
Thank you.
That's nice.
The guy I got it from, super nice guy, smooth transaction, hooked me up with a super good deal. This thing is thick, looks beautiful. My only concern is it smells like cigarettes.
So you're saying you have a thick dick?
Oh yeah.
Harry makes them thick, man. Mine's thick as well. So cigarettes, that pissed me off too, probably.
People that have never heard Unleash is like, dude, what's wrong with this guy? He's always talking about dicks and being sexual. It's like, just go listen to an episode of Unleash. I throw jokes and sexual jokes at people all the time.
Yeah, it's like this is an adult fucking podcast. Like, you want to watch some kids shit, go watch SpongeBob. So,
yeah.
It's like, you know what you're signing up for when you see the title of a podcast, and you hear the fucking conversations, and it's like how are you gonna get mad at what someone fucking says when the title says it all?
That's true. That's totally true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know James has got to go take a piss, and I do too. So yeah, go do that. We will catch up soon, guys. I really appreciate it.
And we appreciate you coming on, man.
It was
all right.
Great, man.
Keep up with the podcast. I'm really liking it, and you got two guys hosting it that are really nice dudes, and I wish you guys all the success in the world.
Thank you, man.
Like, same with you. Like, honestly, same with you, man. You've been very helpful, man. More than you know. Not only today, but behind the scenes. You and I have had personal, private talks, and it's good dude.
Yeah, and looking back on your whole Hydrocal thing, that's how like when you first started making molds. Mm-hmm. FaceTime wasn't as big as it is now, but Matt Reed has helped me, and I've helped him through FaceTime, and it's amazing what you learn and what you're able to pick up on when you're able to visually see what someone else is doing. So like, we were having an issue, and I'm like, dude, you got to see this, and I can't explain it. You just got to see it. And so when he was able to video it and see what I was doing, we were able to kind of troubleshoot it together as a team. And that way he knew exactly what I was saying. I was able to explain it by visually showing. So if my point is what I'm getting to is like with your Hydrocal thing, when you were having issues with it, mm-hmm. If I was able to physically watch you do that process, I probably could have walked you through it and said, well, this is where this went wrong, and that's why that happened. So if you're ever in a position like that again, just let me know.
Very soon. The 07 Slayer will be molded up very soon.
Very cool. Yeah, so if you need anything there, just hit me up. We'll do a FaceTime or something and show me your process, and I'll be able to walk you through it.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate that so much.
No problem. You guys have a good night.
You as well, man.
All right, take care.
See ya.
All right, Trevor. It was fun, right?
Huh?
That was very fun.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. Great dude. Fucking great, man. It's so shitty that, like, so many people have fucking talked down on a lot of his shit, and it's like, you know what, man, fuck you. Get to know the guy. He's a great dude. I've got nothing but praise for him.
And respect, praise and respect, man.
Absolutely.
Movie chat more. Give me a super chat. Thank you so much. I have to piss, so I will answer this very quickly. So you said for the channel, sorry, what's the question, sir? I do apologize. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, but Chris, he's gotten a bad rep in the past from people who were in their cliques and have nothing better to do. But as you guys can see, we spent almost 2 hours. Practically, we just hit the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, we just hit 2 hours, man.
And you got
That's great.
More, and he's just overall, he's a genuine dude. He's a
yeah,
real
man. And like I said, man, like so many people were telling me before I even got to know him, they're like, he's an asshole, blah blah. He says this, he says that. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, I'm not gonna make judgments just off, what everyone's saying. And then I started interacting with him. I'm like, he just knows what he's talking about, man. And he's fucking saying how it is. Like, how are you gonna be mad at somebody? Like, have you never been experienced? Have you never, been, exposed to someone telling you the fucking truth about shit?
Yeah, it's
like, I don't get it. I've never understood that, where people are just assholes about somebody because they have an opinion outside of their fucking own. Like,
right. Like do you want your shit sugar coated for the rest of your life? Like, you can't live in reality.
Right. Yeah. I've never understood that. I've never understood how people are fucking like that.
Dude, that thing is great, but it smells and reeks of cigarettes, dude.
I feel bad, man. Disgusting.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm gonna probably leave it outside for about an hour tonight, outside right here, and all that shit. But
you should hit with like dryer sheets or something. Maybe that would work. I don't know. I would look into that. I don't know. I don't know if it would be harmful or not, but I would assume that would definitely, like, at least on the inside, would probably do something.
I'm gonna have to figure it out. Yeah, you guys are seeing this first right now because I did an unboxing. I already filmed it and I was gonna release it tomorrow probably. So you guys get to see it now. But dude, this is fucking sexy, dude. Like, honestly, like, holy, it's like one of the best warlocks I've seen in a while. Chris actually did a warlock several years ago that he rehauled, and I saw a picture of it. It was probably about a year and a half ago, and it's one of the best warlocks I've ever seen.
Oh shit, that was one of the questions I was gonna fucking ask, was about the Nemlock. And I totally forgot that was gonna be my first question, was about the fucking, because I was browsing the Myers now. I know he doesn't really like talking about that site very much. But that Nemlock I saw, it's a fucking sick looking mask, man. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I may have seen some now. I think he has an episode for the Warlock where he discusses the Nemesis and the Nemlock and the Warlock. I'll
have to look that up.
Yeah, I believe he has an episode for that, and I'm pretty sure. And it's been a while since I've heard it, but yeah, he has. I think he has a episode for certain masks where you get to learn the history of like the indie kind of beginning of it, I guess you could say.
Right. Okay.
Robert Kirby says mine is dirtier. So he has a dirtier mine. Mine was dirty. Oh damn. Movie chat more. No question. Just love the channel. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. That is super kind of you, man. Like, thanks for the support for this show. We won't be back next Wednesday. We will be back Monday the 8th.
Yep.
It will be announcing that soon.
Oh man, I'm pumped for this one. This one's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
for sure. That's coming up.
Yeah, today was awesome. The next one's gonna be awesome. Things are only going up from here, and I
never expected it, man. I was just talking to my girlfriend. I was like, it literally just started out with me and him just fucking shooting the shit, and then it just started gaining traction. And then, like, as soon as you told me the other night, what we fucking landed, I was like, no fucking way right now. Like, this is.
You're still
real.
You were fucking giddy.
Yeah, and I was drunk that night too. So that fucking, that I was like, holy fuck. I was like, this is crazy. This is fucking insane. I can't believe this shit right now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. These people are taking their time to do this, and
yeah, and it's like, we're just two fucking people just hopping on and just shooting the shit like every week. That's all. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah,
it's nothing even too fancy.
It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Movie chat more. You said join Friday 10:30 p.m. I believe I am. Well, I don't know what time 10:30 p.m. UK time is. So let me know what that is. Right now for me, it's 8:34 my time. I'm in the Pacific Standard Time Zone. So
I think they might be hours ahead of us or behind us. I don't know. I have no idea how that works.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm being 6 p.m. I think this Friday I'm being interviewed. They want someone's interviewing me about My Special Boy, and they want to talk about the film and things like that. So,
hell yeah,
13th fan film that me and my team are doing. If you guys don't know, but you guys follow the channel, you guys should know by now. I talk about it all the time. Every time I always just slip it in there real quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, no, man, that's something you should be fucking proud of and, getting out there. You want people to fucking see that. There's no problem there. I'm not bitching. I don't have anything exciting to, to announce to people. So, I'm just here to fucking give off my opinion and answer questions and tell people what I fucking know. So,
hell yeah. Robert Kirby, I wish I could share the picture of it with you. Hey, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm Facebook friends with both Trevor and Chris. Instagram, Trevor doesn't use Instagram anymore. He quit.
It's becoming too much for me, man. It's just that I don't know, and that it's just fucking boring, man. It's like Facebook's turning into the same shit with Instagram and like Snapchat with the fucking stories and the fucking and like it just other shit. It's just I don't know. It's just like why would I keep up with one that I don't use that often when I use this one much more? So I was like, all right, see you Instagram.
That Michael Myers mask to here looks white as shit. Oh no, I'm talking about this one right on my screen.
Oh, the one on your. Oh, I thought you were talking about one of mine. I was like, oh, okay.
That thing looks fucking. Ugh.
Yeah, it's fucking glowing. Which one is that one?
It's a Tots.
That
I finished
78.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right for a customer.
Well, I saw those for the first time in person. Back around October in the fucking Spirit Halloween. I don't like how they look. The eye cuts on them are just so wonky and fucking off. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Just too wide. And everyone's like, oh, that's just the look. I'm like, well, if you think about it, if you make eye cuts smaller and you're going for that castle look, like the eyes are going to stretch as is. You don't want to make them already big enough because it's just going to look goofy as fuck.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, why would you make them so wide? Are you looking for a 85 fucking Don post, or you trying to make a Michael Myers mask?
Yeah, dude. And when the first run of them, those eyes were not even shaped right. They were just huge.
I can imagine, man. Tots puts out good stuff, and I don't have any ill will towards them. Justin Mayreed and Chris Zeffro, they're talented fucking people. It's just unfortunately the hands that they've put production into, it's awful.
We should do a podcast, or an episode of this in the future about mass-produced masks. Now, we don't have to name specific companies, but
no, because there's multiple. There's multiple. It's not just Tots. There's multiple. Mass-produced companies. So yeah, I'd be down.
Awesome, I'm down too. Yeah, because I have the H4 right there. And then I have the H3s lined up right there.
I need to get me a set of those. I don't even care if they're Tots or not. I would love to just have them just fucking hanging out on my fucking shelf.
And they look badass. Like they look.
It's a nice little touch, man. It gives the Halloween spirit to someone's fucking collection.
Because I spent like $115 for all three. And it's better.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's so good. And it's like you can spend $200+ on just one.
Yeah, it'd be nice to find like the official Don Post ones. Like I've seen it pop up. I've seen a few of them pop up. Pretty cheap. Like, well, not like cheap, but like not like in the fucking thousands of dollars range. Anything like that. And I'd love to score those. But like I said, if I can get my hands on a Tots trio, like I'd be fine with that.
You should, yeah. They're cheap. There's a on eBay. There's a seller called Collectors Row. They're based here in California. I got mine all three for $115 from them.
Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to be adding my collection here soon.
I recommend it.
That's the thing, man. My fucking collection is kind of just stale right now. Really, I mean, I've got my mask with Jimmy and stuff, but besides that, I haven't ordered anything. I haven't really. I want to get a 13, but I'll get that at some point.
Yeah, but you have like 9 masks or something up there, 10 masks or something, and like those are all.
Well,
like,
I also have my Kirk stretch and my NHK sitting right next to me. So there's 1, 2, and then hang on. There's 13. Well, my Corey Taylor one's like sitting down, but so there's 12 right there. And then I have my Fear with Jimmy, my CGP Fear, my 98-99 Shatner that was from Darren Perks, my Dead Ringer blank that I won in that auction for fucking literally $60. Crazy. And
so blanks, so it's a good deal.
yeah. And he has my Haunted Mask blank.
So you have yourself a nice collection, and it's all like independent shit.
A lot of it, yeah. My Tots one, my only Tots one is the one that Jimmy did, and that's the H2 that's right there. That was my very first mask I ever had, and that was my very first mask I ever had rehauled, done, like, any of that shit worked on. So yeah, it's been very interesting, man. I haven't even been in the hobby very long, 3 years, and I didn't really start getting my independent collection until about like a year ago.
See, like
hard work, man. Hard work and perseverance, man. That's literally what you got to put into your collection. Anybody out there that's coming into this that's new, just work your fucking ass off, and you will get there.
Yeah, if you want this shit, you got, I mean, I don't just pull it out of my ass. I have to work. I have to bust ass for it.
Yeah, man, and it's not cheap, man. Like I said, I added up my value the other day, all my masks, and so far I'm at like just over $3,000. Yeah,
it's expensive, dude. It's a great hobby. It's fun.
It is.
I'm actually, because once again, I'm starting to get the craving. For a while, I was just off of it. I didn't care about anything, and now I'm getting the craving back, and I'm like, fuck, I want to get this and this and this. So
I've been saving it off. I've been trying to just push it off until just more money kind of comes in a little bit, and I'm more safe to, kind of just get another mask or 2, 3, whatever I can fucking snag. And I also just need to make more fucking room and make more shelves, get more shelves and stuff to put my shit on, because I'm running out of room on this, and I don't even have my fucking full collection back yet. So I gotta fucking work on something before I even think about purchasing a new mask.
Yeah, well, and then get some detail cases, or like some acrylic little box things.
I've been hearing IKEA they've been short on their supply. Somebody was saying they went to like a bunch of stores the other day, and they couldn't fucking find them for the life of them.
Amazon would be another one. If you have Prime, that you can get some ones not as good. But a couple Christmases ago, I bought Austin a glass shelf. It didn't have a door or anything, but it's just a glass shelf with like a TV
yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll find something. I want to try to get like a bookshelf that's like just that that's spaced out enough to put masks in. That would be fucking perfect for me, because I just cleared out a fucking couch that was in our fucking room that was taking up so much space. We got that shit out last like a couple weekends ago. So now there's much more space for me to put like a shelf or something there if I want to, or put one on a wall. I was thinking about like mounting 1 or 2. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. So, Atonis, this guy's. Oh, sorry, guys. This will be the last question. I've been holding my urine in for like over an hour, I think. But
you guys better fucking appreciate this.
Ruined right now.
Like he's been trying to get away for like the past like fucking 20 minutes to take a piss, and then we just keep going on and on. So you know what? We're gonna push the distance with this one.
Love and dedication for all of you guys who support this.
Oh yeah.
He says that, hey guys, would you ever have a famous actor on the show?
If they'd like to come on, I mean, no, none of us are stopping them.
Yeah, none of us are stopping. We're getting someone on the show, and they're
pretty well known. They're pretty well known,
especially if you like Halloween and the Halloween franchise and Michael Myers and horror. So,
as far as famous, I would really like to get somebody on. I would really like to try to get like a Myers actor on. If we get like Nick Castle, or if somehow we could get Dick Warlock on, or if we could get just anybody that played Michael at all. I would really love to fucking listen to James Jude Courtney's story. That'd be really cool to hear. Yeah, I would love that. If anyone famous watches this, I mean, I would, hope, I would like to have anybody on.
Yeah, that's trust me when I say that there's strings that are being pulled behind the scenes, guys, and we're trying things. We are fairly new to in this scene, though. This is probably episode 7.
Yeah, and
not,
that's crazy. Yeah, we're only at episode 7. We're not even at like a fucking full 10 episodes yet, and we're already still getting shit working out.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be great.
So we have a couple announcements soon. One being what we're watching this Saturday, which last time I checked, it looked like it's gonna be Terminator 2, but I need to double check. And then later
I'm really surprised, man. Like I was really surprised. Like we had another good list, and then like I looked like the other day, and like that shit was way ahead. I was like, no fucking shit.
Like how'd that happen?
Yeah, I mean it's a great film, so I understand. It's a long one though, so we're looking at like a 2-hour fucking event here.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm actually gonna look at that right now and see where we're at.
I want to say like 2.5 hours. That's gotta be at least 2.5 hours. 2 hours 40-something minutes tops. Hopefully Austin can join us for this one. I don't know what his plans are.
Got a bunch of votes in. Yeah, Terminator 2 is beating it. It is in the lead by 13% right now.
Holy shit.
So it's kicking ass, man. So that's cool. It's a long film, so yeah, it's gonna be a long film. It's gonna be a fucking long Saturday, but I'm excited for it. But yeah, man. We'll be announcing the winner. I think we'll be announcing it later tonight or tomorrow. Probably later tonight. And then tomorrow or Friday, we will be announcing our guest for March 8th.
Yep. It's gonna be fucking. Oh man, I'm so pumped.
I'm pumped for it, dude.
I thought I was nervous tonight, like just talking to Chris. But like now I'm just fucking. Now I'm thinking about it with this next one. I'm like, ah, shit.
It's weird. I was a little nervous with not because I've talked to Chris enough where it's like those nerves shouldn't be there, but it's like it's still one of those things where it's kind of like an interview, and you're kind of even though you're buddy, and like kind of.
I'm just one of those people. Like I try to write stuff down. Like I've tried to write stuff down for the show, but like I'm just one of those people, man. I just let the conversation roll, because like it just alone from mentioning one thing, you're gonna open up a whole other fucking like a rabbit hole full of shit just to talk about. Just from one thing being mentioned. That's that's how I roll.
And there was questions I have here that I didn't even ask because it kind of kept spinning. Like one question, what about this? Like what it just kind of became a what, why, where, when, how kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, it's cool, man.
This next one I definitely want to be. This next one I definitely want to be a little bit more prepared for sure. I've got no worries about it. I feel like it's gonna be a really good episode. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of good conversation, a lot of good banter amongst the three of us for that one. Oh man, my excitement, man, the excitement for that shit. It's gonna be. I just want to, I'm just more excited to see where this shit's gonna go after that. It's. I feel like that's gonna really, it's gonna get us going. Like we thought we were gaining traction. That now we're about to be like, we're about to be getting somewheres with this.
Yeah, exactly. So we've had a guest for a couple of episodes now, and we're gonna have another guest on the next episode, and then we might lay low and do a couple just solo ones between the two of us. Maybe have Austin on, and then we'll come back and start getting those guests again. I think because some of these guests are gonna take some while to get because of their status, and
scheduling and stuff too. Like I said, I wanted to try getting Darren Perks on here. I haven't really heard much back from him recently, except for he's interested in coming on. And if anybody here knew that doesn't know Darren Perks, he's a sculptor. He was a employee at Don Post Studios for a long while. He recently worked on the halftime show for the weekend with the bandages and stuff for his backup dancers over 300 with 300 headdresses, and had to do that shit in 2 weeks. Crazy, but he did it, killed it. Did fucking great. I would really like to have him come on and explain his story a bit because he's got an interesting one. And that alone, just talking to the person that made this year's fucking Super Bowl halftime show work the way it did, it's just fucking that'd be great to just hear the story about that alone. Yeah,
I'd be super down for that because that's fun, cool. And they used to work at Don Post, he said. So like there's so many stories that you want to ask for that. Just like how was the fucking environment, like
like how was mask making back in the day? How did that go?
Post,
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. All right.
Fuck
I
that.
have it's really bad. All right, we're putting it to an end, guys. We're putting it to an end. Stay tuned for the next update for the next episode of Assholes with Opinions with a special guest. We have him lined up for the 8th of March. So we're taking a 12-day break or something from the show, and we'll have someone on the show, and it's going to be another special guest like tonight. I mean, all of our guests are special. You know, Austin, Alexander, Jimmy Falco, Chris, and our next one. But yeah, it's gonna be cool, man.
See, I wouldn't mind like even touching back with like Jimmy and stuff. Like now that we're like streaming through better shit, like our older episodes, like our quality was just fucking awful. But now, since I've updated equipment on my end and shit, it'd be nice to I wouldn't mind like touching back, circling back and like redoing fucking episodes if need be, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that I'd be down. 100%.
Yeah. Who knows?
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go use the restroom now. And thank you so much for the support. Thanks for being here. We'll catch you guys on the next episode of Assholes with Opinions with a special guest we will be announcing soon. And that episode will be taking place March 8th, which is on a Monday. So stay tuned for that.
Mark your calendars for that
Mark
shit.
that shit.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace out.